Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Monday afternoon. What a beautiful day we have here in North Texas. 72 degrees, partly cloudy. A chance for storms tonight. But first off, let's address us being a little bit late. It was totally my fault. I take full responsibility. I am sorry, and we will do better in the future. Say hello to my two co-hosts and our producer, Phineas TF, Randall Santa Checker Lee, and Angela Mack.
Great to see everybody. Good to see everybody.
Good day.
72. It was 29 here in Michigan this morning. I don't know.
Oh,
We had frost on the cars and freeze warnings until 11 o'clock this morning. It was cold,
oh,
cold.
that's enough to make your toenails curl up.
Yeah.
27 degrees and snowing this morning here. So, yeah, it's
You guys have had a rather strange March and April, I would say. Yeah. You expect those kind of things in January, February, especially here, North Texas. That's our time of year to get anything we're going to get. We're going to get it in January and February usually. But you have been on a roller coaster up there. So,
Easy.
have the plants started blooming out yet?
That's the thing. The little things are coming out, and so it's like there was a frost freeze warning. So hopefully it doesn't kill much. I mean, everybody pretty much around here knows not to plant till after Mother's Day for sure. Plant.
Sure.
But
Sure.
we were having some beautiful days, and so they started little buds coming out.
And the way we judge it down here is the Easter, that last real cold snap around Easter. But you got to also remember that Easter fluctuates by weeks
Yeah.
each year. And just looking at some of my memories last night, just a couple of years ago, Easter was this weekend. So I mean, the little cold snap that we just got, we were down in the 40s the last two nights, around 50 last night. So we had a little bit of a cool chill after being in the 80s and close to 90 and 70, mid 70s or so at night. So hey,
well, that's the thing we're dealing with here is that we go from the 70s and high 60s and down 30 degrees that next day with snow and hail and sleet. And yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy. The 30-degree fluctuations from day to day. It's crazy.
yeah,
10 degrees you expect night and day. You expect, 10 or so, 15, but not 30 plus.
yep, absolutely. Well, you know what? Let's get a little bit of inspiration from Santa B and his hot cup of cocoa segment.
Ho, 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 and happy day, my friends. Santa B back with you here again today. And today, I want to talk to you about being a blessing. I did over the weekend a celebration of life for an old friend. And as we shared and told stories about her life, all I could think about was how wonderful it was to leave behind such grand memories. And I want to encourage all of you to live your life in a way that the people who will celebrate your life will have beautiful, wonderful stories to share and joyous memories to hold on to. So as you go through your day, as you work on your craft, as you do all the things that you do, never forget to stop and recognize those around you who are blessings to you and do your utmost to be a blessing to others. I love you all. Be blessed. Be well. See you next time.
Well now, that's not just a burger, that's a statement. Welcome to the Elf Appetizer, where we get straight to the meat of the hot topics. Stop drooling, fellas, we're just getting started. We stack it high, truth, humor, a little heat, and we don't nibble around the edges. So pull up a chair, loosen that belt, and let's take a real bite out of this thing. Let's carve into it.
All right, Phineas, let's see how we can carve into this topic.
Okay. So there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about Fit Santas. There's actually a Facebook group now specifically for Fit Santas. And I do know that there's a well-known instructor in the Santa Land who actually ran a keto diet and health group, as well as there is quite a well-known Santa up here in Canada who got known for being fit, quite modern looking, and oftentimes termed as being fashion Santa. So a lot of malls and businesses, and including things like Red One and the Christmas Chronicles are showing a younger looking, a fitter Santa. So we need to talk about, um, with the increased focus on fit Santas, how will this affect the Claus community, and how should we respond to the shift?
Yeah,
So,
and also on top of that, Cherry Hill Programs put together this last season a program with one of the pro wrestlers,
yep,
and it's getting Santas up, getting them moving, getting limber, getting in better shape, and maybe shed a pound or two along the way.
yep. So yeah, there's a lot of guys doing chair yoga and getting their exercise out. So how is the community responding to the increased focus on being fit and looking towards being healthier?
Randall can talk attest to losing weight. Scott Seriton up in Oklahoma City has lost 95 pounds. Our own producer, Elf Angela, although she's not a Santa and does not perform in the Christmas community, has gotten fit and lost a lot of weight, as everyone can tell from her beautiful smile when she comes on screen. So uh, let's talk a little bit deeper on this.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I years ago, it's been how many years? I was up to 416 pounds. Had
That is hard
bariatric
to believe.
surgery, lost 180 some pounds. Of course, that totally changes your look and your style. And and it always goes through my head. I remember when I was having hip surgery and I had a hard time walking because the hip was in pain. And I'm thinking like, wow, Santa jumps from roof to roof and climbs off the sleigh and does everything so quickly. But when you're 400 pounds and have hip problems, you need help a lot of things. So we're not portraying what Santa is out there either. I think the rotunda is kind of nice. It's good to have that jolly belly, and I think people like that. And the milk and cookies is fun. But there's nothing wrong with being a little bit, it's all also for our own safety, for our own health, is taking care of ourselves.
Well,
You
I
know,
know our lead into this segment is a funny little lead in with Phineas the elf eating the whole burger. But, here's the thing: Phineas is a very active part of the North Pole, chopping wood, taking care of the reindeer. He has such a huge amount of responsibility at the North Pole. So, it doesn't matter if you're big and you're healthy or if you got a few extra pounds, or if you're fit and slim. There are a few Santas that have been criticized a little bit for being too thin. And
mhm.
again, what do the children see? What do you think, Phineas?
I think that the children respond to the energy coming from within. And if you've got someone who is fit but still jolly and magical and has the glimmer in their eye, the children are going to respond to that. You could be the right jolly old elf with the nose like a cherry and pink cheeks and uh, tummy that laughs, shakes like a bowl full of jelly. And if you're tired and you're not feeling well and you're grumpy and everything like that, the children are not going to react well to that. So honestly, I think the children really don't matter, and care about how skinny or whatever Santa is. That will change, particularly when they get to the cusp of not believing or believing, because they're going to try to poke holes in whatever you say and whoever you are, no matter what. But for the most part, if you're providing the experience of being a jolly old soul, if you're providing the magic of what Santa means and brings to the occasion, and you're present for the believers, I don't really think it matters, to be honest with you.
I totally agree. And Phineas has that right on the money. It's what comes from the heart and what you emit as Santa. It's no different than having if you have a real beard or if you have a designer beard. It's the same thing. If you have that heart, if you have that connection with the child, you're going to make it believable. You're going to show the love, show the care. So it really doesn't matter if you're 350 or 200. It doesn't matter if this is real or not real. It's all what's here and what we give to the children. Exactly what Phineas says. I
What
mean,
we
that is
present. Yeah, what we present. Let's throw this comment back up from Sean. If you want to go over and check out this Facebook.com group here, it is Fit Santa.
It
She's
is.
done a couple of shows on that. If you did not get a chance to watch those segments, go back over to the Claus Connect and check those two segments out. It was great. Had Dennis on, who has lost a ton of weight and has gotten fit. And, again, go check it out if you get a chance to. And I'll leave that up for just a second if anybody wants to take a screenshot of that group. That way, or Fit Santa. Either way, you can find it by putting that into your Facebook search box at the top. Okay, let's see if we got any other comments on here. And guys, again, Randy mentioned Kurt Russell. The trend has been changing for some time. A lot of Santas 10 years ago decided, hey, we need to do something, get a little bit more, active, a little bit more fit. You love doing this so much that you want to do it as long as you can. So a lot of motivation there in different areas of why we should do it. How many of you exercise year round, or how many of you just do it leading up to the season? I'd be curious to know. I think we're all fairly active still. I don't know anybody that just lays on the couch and becomes a potato, but it is good to keep moving, keep your joints moving, keep your mind, active. And
Yeah, if we're Santa or not, if Mrs. Claus or not, we should take care of ourselves physically anyway, because we want to live for our family and friends and everything else. Even if we're not Santa, but being Santa and Mrs. Claus, we really should keep fit just for our own. And it's a lot of work. We all know that it's a lot of work and strenuous, especially if you're working those 10, 12-hour days, and you have to keep up and on. And if you're really not taking care of yourself, and it doesn't matter then again, size then doesn't matter as long as you're healthy inside, the right protein, the right right fluids, the right everything else. That's what makes the difference on your health also for that time. So
Pat says, attitude, heart, love, kids.
that is the bottom line. What we can portray, not just.
Kevin states that he finds that parents mention Santa's size more often than the children do, and that is often the case. Is that the parents are like, "Oh, Santa's looking a little skinny," but they would also be the ones that question if Santa came in on a rascal scooter or was, hobbling around with a cane as well. So again, it's attitude and how you come across. So.
Exactly. And out of all the years, I don't believe I've ever had a child mention Santa's size, or it's always the adults that have that little wisecrack about, looking a little thin, or are you not eating enough cookies? And each one of us should have a little bit of a backstory. If they say, hey, you're too thin, or you're too big, if they was to go in that direction. But for me, I just always say, you see these bells on my boots? And they say, yeah. I said, well, my Mrs. Claus and my doctor put me on a bell diet. Bell diet? How does that work? I said, well, cookies hear me coming and they run from me. And then I go on to explain that Santa has put me on a strict diet. I can only have cookies during deliveries on the 24th and the 25th. The rest of the year, I have to steer clear and stay more healthy.
Yep.
Here's one for you, Phineas.
The Vineyard Santa states you don't really necessarily need to be really fit, but you shouldn't be out of breath earlier. You have to care about the children, but also about your own health.
Very true.
And that is the case. If you're having difficulties talking to the children when you're sitting in the throne or walking about doing a breakfast with Santa, you maybe need to think about your physical fitness at that point.
I like the one there that Kane's got, Randy.
Regardless of physical status, I think it's important for Santa to remain lively and quick as the best he can. Yeah, and you can still be. I remember being 400 and being as lively as I could, So but it's the last one said, and we've said a few times. You just have to take care of yourself, so we are fit inside, regardless of the number that's on that scale.
Absolutely.
Take care of yourself, because
that's what I was saying about either being too big or too small. It really doesn't matter as long as you carry your weight. I mean, for instance, I can think of someone who is very large in stature. Uh, Ron McClam. He is very large in stature. You stand up next to him, you have to look up at him, and but he does not look the number on the scale. When he told me what he weighed, I said, "No way," because he just doesn't look it because he is tall. He is in proportion. Now, with all that said, our trip out to California. I'll throw this up real quick. Santa Scott says, "Walk after every meal makes a big difference," and your health professionals will tell you, especially if you have problems balancing your blood sugar, get up from the table, walk 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be a fast walk. You just have to move. And it starts the metabolism and balances your blood sugar intake from your food as it processes much, much more now. How many times, Scott, did we get through eating at a restaurant, walk around the parking lot, or, at the hotel? I mean, we did some walking for sure.
I think every Santa that, regardless of the size of Santa, our suits fit us properly. If you're
Yes.
375 to 400, your belt still fits fine. Your coat, it's not like your shirts aren't pulling apart, and showing that you're really, and when even when you're thin, 200 or less, you still have that size because of the fur, because of the belt. You still have that, that look besides. So it's.
Phineas Beltref says, "Exercise, that's a double 4-letter word."
Oh, it is. It is.
Here's another one for you, Phineas. This is from Betsy.
From Betsy Madzieski, I just won a year's worth of yoga from a drawing at Lone Star Roundup. Thank you, Cherry Hill. And
For a minute, we were
Absolutely,
talking about
Betsy.
professional wrestlers.
Absolutely. Yep.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Yep.
Yep, Diamond Dallas Page. That's who is heading that up. "I'm not a big guy, and the only comment I received was from the parents about my weight." Very true, Bill.
Yeah, it is like Charlie said in one earlier. He said, parents are more critical than the children. Everybody is right there. Parents are much more critical than the kiddos are. Yeah, and then that's because when the parents were, that was the only look they ever saw was the big rotunda Santa, and that was the thing. This nowadays, the children see all types because of the movies and everything else.
Well, and diversity has become a really great factor in our community with different, ethnicity of performers, which is what this community really needed. Because every child is going to see a Santa, no matter what skin color or how big, how small. They're just going to see Santa 99.9% of the time. Phineas?
Every child leaves cookies on Christmas Eve, and that's over 1 billion cookies in one night. You have to be slimmed down to be ready for that, and definitely.
Scott says this is a big part of my weight loss, the 95 pounds we were talking about.
Yep.
Here's another one from Betsy Phineas.
Also, I think if you find things that you like that don't make you focus on the exercise but keep you active, it helps. Like Betsy did an adult cheerleading squad last year and line dancing.
Yep.
And definitely.
Yeah, dancing, they say, is very, very, very good for yourself to getting fit and all that. I also do bungee classes. Bungee classes? It's fun, like flying like Rudolph, huh?
I can just see her doing that.
I'd be worried about if that elastic band would hold enough, personally, Betsy, but that'd be crazy.
Hey, Bessie, do you wear a red nose? All right, guys. Any final thoughts on this before we move along?
It's the new trend coming out there, so I wouldn't. It shouldn't surprise anybody because of the movies, because of the look. So, and nor should it scare anybody.
It definitely shouldn't scare anybody. And the main thing is that you've got to be comfortable in your own skin and project the image that you'd like to project. If it's beginning to affect your health and your ability to get around, maybe you should consider other things as well. So.
Yeah, and I don't think that Phineas could pull off being about 95 pounds. He just wouldn't look grumpy enough.
There's some images of me from about 12 years ago that everybody says I look so thin and good, but I'm also pretty grumpy Earl looking.
Well, this is true, but that was around the time that Larry passed, and
Yep.
that was anybody would be shocked after that.
Yeah.
So we kind of going back to what we were saying here. Uh, I think it matters more to the families, the beard, the look, or the experience was kind of one of the questions. And you know what? I believe the beard, the look, and the experience is all part of that. And I don't think that there's anyone out there that is in the professional ranks that's not mindful of that and make sure that they are the best they can be and portray Santa to the best of their ability. And Thomas Myers, who is another one that has gotten healthier and lost lots of weight, he says, I was let go at the mall after 5 years because I lost 150 pounds. It was an old lady that complained. As this was this last season, and Tom was at one of the top tier malls here in the North Dallas area, North Texas area, North Dallas, but North Texas. And that was the reason they let him go. A lady had complained that he didn't look like Santa anymore, which how can you not look at Tom and not see Santa? I mean, look at that profile picture right there. That's him with his weight loss. And
Yep.
Santa to me. Santa
Yep.
to me. Okay, one more before we move along here. Well, it could be. Could be. There is some retailers out there that have their own image of what they want to hire.
Yeah, every company's got their own image of what Santa is. Every family does. Every child does.
Phineas mentioned up there in the upper neck of the woods where he is that he's seen that. So,
Yep. Yep.
all right, let's go ahead and run our santascloset.org, and we'll be back in a moment. Yeah. All right, guys. This trivia has been working out really good with the multiple choice lately, and we always try to find good questions, something that after 6 seasons, 2 shows, you kind of start wondering where am I going to find the next one at, right?
There's a lot of questions that have been asked
A lot of
throughout
questions.
these many years. A lot of questions.
And to be honest, I had used sites that had pre-made questions. Now I'm actually picking a topic in my head, going and doing the work myself, and creating the trivia questions from that because they are multiple choice. That gives us a little bit more liberty to have some fun. So, all right, let's see here. This is the Sleigh Bell Brain Teaser, and over to you, Phineas.
Okay, sleigh bell brain teaser for a gift from Wade and Scarlett at santascloset.org. And a reminder, Angela needs both the letter and the word as an answer. And the question is, what cartoon character is a Christmas Eve staple in Sweden and is watched by millions of Swedes every year? A, Charlie Brown, B, Frosty the Snowman, C, Donald Duck, or D, the Grinch?
Wow.
Yeah, they all seem reasonable, don't they?
Yeah, and of course we have always the Claus effect bonus round. What year was the above cartoon character created? So you've got to know the answer to that one. The first number one question to get the second one. A, 1934, B, 1950, C, 1924, or D, 1966. So you have to know the answer to the first one. Remember, it has to have the letter and the answer in your reply for Angela.
That's correct. And just in case someone happened to know what the answer to number one was, they're still going to have to do a little bit of research on the second part of that.
Yep.
So it's not always a give me with the multiple choice, but it does narrow it down, makes it a heck of a lot easier than blank said blank to who blank blank and who blank blank.
I always got a kick out of those before.
Yeah, I took a lot of flack over those sometimes.
The and the those were the only words that I got to read. The rest of them were all blanks.
Yeah. And our producer, she was mad at me many a day after those. What the heck are you doing over there? All right, guys, work on that. She's going to leave it up for just a moment more. And, we just want to say thank you to everyone again. We've had a great crowd today already. And I know we were a few minutes late. I want to apologize again. That was my fault. And I take full responsibility for it. And I will do better in the future, believe me. Okay, let's see here. You know what's up next, Ansela?
I do.
All right, let's go. All right, we're going to jump right on into Elf and Chatterbox News. Here, I want to say thank you, North Polk Cornerstones, for bringing this segment to you. Hilton Garden Inn and Conference, OKC, North Edmond, 4 days, Thursday through Sunday, February 18th through the 21st, 2027. Come spend a week with us, man. Both these gentlemen on screen have been this last year with us, and we had a lot of fun. Got to do some things we never had got to do before, and that was get the picture that you see that Angela uses for thumbnails now.
Yeah.
All right, Randall.
Yeah, don't miss that. And of course, then coming up, a few changes. Actually, I'll make a quick little change on the Wondrous Women of Christmas. Remember, there still are scholarships, and we're just about ready to pick the winners. So between the scholarship that I've been given I'm giving out 2 scholarships, and so is Liz. So they're just about ready to be picked. So if you can get your name in really, really quick by the end of this week, you might be able to sneak it in because the deadline does say May 15th, but let us get it in as soon as possible. But we're only doing Cincinnati this year. Had to make some changes in St. Charles, Missouri. So, but check out wonderofchristmas.com womenofchristmas.com because it's wondrous first, but they don't have that in the email, the website address. So that's coming up soon. So much to learn, so many great things.
That's correct. Phineas, didn't you guys have something going on this weekend?
We do have the Santa Gathering, Coffee with the Clauses this weekend. It's on Saturday here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Unfortunately, registration is closed, and we are actually at capacity for the event. So we are grateful to everyone from Ontario, Canada, for coming out to support us and getting together for an afternoon of fellowship and learning brought to us by Cherry Hill Productions and Page Activations, who have graciously supported us this year for the first time, and we're grateful for that.
I tell you what, I just love Santa Central and Cherry Hill programs. They have really gotten more active in the community. They are becoming a part of everything that is viable in our Santa community, and we absolutely love that. Thank you. Hats off to all the folks over at Cherry Hill Programs.
And Christy Haynes just mentioned that for a Canadian that signs up at the event this weekend, working for Cherry Hill Productions, they will be entered in a drawing for a free registration at Santa Family Reunion 2027. So they are stepping up to the plate and helping support the Canadian Santa community as well. So we are,
and that's something that you guys need more of in Canada. More opportunities to travel to some of these events that are in the lower 48 and just to be able to get together for things like coffee and fellowship and
Yep.
marketing and all the things that we all benefit from when we come together. All right, you know what's next? We're going to go digging deeper with Phineas, followed by magical performance A to Z with Randall. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. So last week I talked about where do your elves live at the North Pole. So this time I'm going to talk about the reindeer. How many reindeer do you have? Now we all know Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, and Blitzen, as well as Rudolph. And then we've got Rudolph's girlfriend Clarice from the TV show, which is copyrighted. So we've got to be very careful about using that. But do you have more than the 9 reindeer? Because let's be honest, Rudolph, if you went by when it was first created by Montgomery Ward, Rudolph would be in his upper 80s now. And reindeer only have a lifespan of 15 to 20 years. So we need to think about, does Santa have backup reindeer in case someone takes sick or gets hurt? If so, where do they stay? Are they all in a barn? Is there a pasture that you keep them in during the summer months when it's not snowing all night or all day long? How many reindeer does Santa have? Or do you just have the reindeer and they're immortal? Or do you are the reindeer's names like Dasher is because Dasher is quite quick, and Dancer is Dancer because Dancer is agile? So are they named after their attributes versus the reindeer themselves? Lots of things to think about as part of your storytelling, because there are definite opportunities there to build your North Pole and make it unique. Bill Treff says, yes, all of the other reindeer. Yes, yes, again, that is once again a copyrighted character that you've got to be very careful about using. So there's lots of opportunity with that. John, I do like that Rudolph's girlfriend is Olive, but the TV show that the children watch, it's Clarice. So long story short, you got to respond to the children as well. Charlie says that he has 200 reindeer consisting of the main 9 reindeer, retired reindeer living out their golden years, and future sleigh pullers, a very large stable corral and flight training center. That's very similar to what we have with Santa David and Phineas, is that we have very many reindeer, and the reindeer are named because of their attributes and abilities. And so the reindeer names are actually more job titles. So Dasher, as I said, is the fast one. Dancer is the agile one. Blitzen is very strong, and so forth. So that's why Phineas gets in charge of the reindeer and makes sure the reindeer wellness center and the reindeer are doing the reindeer games during the summer, just to make sure that they are fit, in tip-top condition to make the journey on Christmas Eve, the whole 9 yards. And Jenny Lynn has several thousand as well. That's why the reindeer games they try out every year. And that's the truth, is there's lots of stuff to think about as part of your reindeer. Santa Jeff says the same thing. The names of the reindeer are positions on the sleigh and not necessarily their actual names. So there's a lot of Santas beginning to tell that as part of their storytelling and world building. So that is wonderful. So if you're being asked how many reindeer do you have, think about that. Ask, are the reindeer, the 9 reindeer that are the main sleigh team, are they immortal creatures that have just joined you as part of your ongoing Christmas family? Or are they the names of positions that are taken up by specific reindeer each year, and as they get older and retire, you bring a younger reindeer into the situation. So that is a wonderful part of world building and backstory. As Charlie said, he has 200 reindeer consisting of the 9 reindeer retired living out their golden years and future sleigh pullers, a large stable, corral, and flight training center. Um, Kane Smith says that he's got hundreds of reindeer on the farm. The names of the 9 that pull the sleigh are like positions on a baseball team, filled by descendants of the originals. Each reindeer retires after certain years of experience. Jenny Lynn says that she has thousands of reindeer, and that's how come there are reindeer games, because that's the tryouts every year. And John Schnagelberger makes a comment. So what you're saying is the reindeer games are more like the Hunger Games? Well, they're not as final and permanent as the Hunger Games. And I don't think that would be kind of a grim, dark thing to tell the children. Ernie says that he tells children that we have thousands of reindeer at the North Pole that bring all the toys from factories to the storage warehouses according to the stops to be made. But the 9 that pull the sleigh, we all know who they are. So lots of opportunities there. So again, a simple question to ask with an answer that can be as complex or as easy as you can. Santa Scott says he has training centers and they prepare the reindeer for the reindeer games. So lots of opportunity there. So just a very easy question that you all get asked, and you can make it as complex or as personal as you can. Wishing everybody a good week, and please stay healthy, please be safe. Thank you, and have a good one.
Ho, 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 ho!
Shop Thermo Apparel. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. And for the coolest of cool Santas or Easter bunnies, remember Thermo Apparel.
Don't just be cool as an attitude. Keep cool, literally.
Thermo Apparel, be cool! Ho, 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 ho!
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's showtime again, and thank you again for letting me take this time with you guys. It is magical performance time. I've been showing you magic every week, and I'm just going to take a little step back from magic for this week, but we are going to talk about magic, but the magic that Santa and Mrs. Claus and the elves put into the things that we do. Because in there can bring up some very magical things. You don't have to have props. You don't have to have silly wands. You don't have to have different ways of doing things. You just have to have things that you interact with the children that are magical, that you can bring a whole new world about. Because there's so many children now that with what they see see these things. They see the phone, the TV. They don't see the old style stuff. So we have the opportunity to take some of the old style items and bring magic to them and build stories, which is just like our backstories, on things that we have. Everybody knows mom and dad, they use the GPS on their phone to get from point A to point B. Well, Santa used one of these. It's a compass and everything else. It's a beautiful little prop. It's fake brass, but it's got a compass. And a lot of children don't even know how to use a compass. So you could explain. I might have a fan on or something. Oh, hopefully it's not going on. I'll turn that off. Maybe that makes a difference. So no fan on in here. Sorry. Hoping not too much of a hum back. His ears are still a hum, Angela? Just nod your head. No. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, but take something that you can find that's older and unique and make a story. Make it magical. It's not a trick. It's something that you can discuss with a child at a home visit, or even when you're at a big box store or something when it's slow. To bring one of these out. Do you know when Santa years ago how I fly and how I get around? There's this and this is these are old crazy. I don't even know what these things are called anymore. I know one's called a sexlet or sex, whatever it is. I don't use the word because I never say it properly. It's not a good thing to say, but just different things that you can tell the child. Many things you can come up with for traveling, for Santa flying, and make it magical. Thank you, Brian and Santa Jeff and Charlie. Thank you. I won't say the word. I'm no good at that pronounce. Thank you guys. But it's and a compass, of course. But it's just something that brings the magic a little bit more to the child because they don't see these things. They don't understand that there was something far before turn right 2.5 miles. It's something that we build as the character. I know I've brought this many times, but people look at it as a child look as a telescope. Well, this is not really a telescope. This is actually a kaleidoscope if you really look into it. But it looks very unique. It looks very cool to talk to a child about that you can look and see a child when he's sleeping or whatever story you want to do. Make your story, make a backstory out of something is different as this that they don't get to see anymore. They don't get to speaking of what they don't get to see, and I've brought this up lots of times, of course, are these. Just love these. I just love these. I've had these for years. Just little music boxes. They're small, they're inexpensive to have, but a child just get a kick. They just love them because you just play them while you're talking to them and it calms them down. Or if you have an apprehensive child, somebody just bring it out and slowly let it go. And it's so soft and soothing. It's something, those extra things that we can do without the magic. It doesn't matter if it's a real beard or designer beard or a $5,000 suit or one off the rack for a couple hundred. It doesn't matter. Those extra things that bring that little magic in connection with the children is what we want. It doesn't. Again, it can be Mrs. Claus. It could be Santa. It could be an elf. Those things we can draw the children in and make the belief more by having things like that. We all know, of course, The Night Before Christmas. I use this one quite often just because the children get a kick out of it. It's actually made out of material. I bought this at Hobby. Actually, I bought it. It came in a sheet. I had to cut it out and sew it together, which was crazy to get it to line up right. But it's a great talking thing for children. It's not just telling the story. It's not just reading the book "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It's then you have another story altogether. You make the story of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" even more magical because it's a soft book. And it's not heavy to carry with you, which is even better. So that's even better. But little things like this, instead of showing, we all have the book, you turn the pages, they're wonderful, and we all get animated when we read it. But this adds one more step to talk about it if you have a soft-bound book. I think this is one of my favorite ones. The reading isn't as easy to it. You pretty much gotta have to know the story, which most of us do anyway. But just those little things that we can bring the magic of Christmas. It doesn't matter if we're 300, 500, 200 pounds. It doesn't matter if, like I said, real beard doesn't matter, or Mrs. Claus. It's that magic. It's that wonder. It's that extra little touch that we can give to the child and the families that makes the difference. It makes all the difference. Little things like a lot of times we'll do trivia. I love doing trivia or just asking questions. Now, just to take a trivia question out of a box or out of your pocket's not a big deal. just a little tiny box to make it look a little bit neater. Oh, this is a special box that was given to me by the miser. You know, the winter, the snow miser. Oh yes, you can make whatever story you want to up, and these are just trivia questions in there. But that's where I keep it for fun. It adds that few seconds of wonder, of look, of uniqueness to what we do as Santa and Mrs. Claus and everything else. And that's what we want to do. We want to build that fantasy. We want to build that remembrance when they leave going, yeah, that was cool. That was whatever. I've never seen that before. Whatever their thought process was. Or, we know we're going to give them the love. We know we're going to give them the care. But just those other little things that brings the magic, besides magic, to every performance. You guys are wonderful. I thank you so much for letting me just ramble on like I do. Hope it didn't stay fuzzy. Love you all. See you soon.
All right, I want to say thank you to both Randall and Phineas for great segments as always, and thank you to Thermapparel and Holiday Photo Magic, King Risk Partners, and Caboose, all sponsors for those two segments, and we thank you very much. Now, real quick before we do the trivia answers, I want to go back and grab a couple of comments that came in late. This is from Charlie Johnson. This is to you, Phineas. You're muted, Phineas.
Hey, Phineas, we can't hear you.
Charlie says that any visible injuries that he has when he portrays Santa are always blamed on his participation in the reindeer games. Oh, you should maybe think about being a little more careful there, Santa.
Yeah, because you get hurt and you got a sore hip or you got something like that and you're walking a little bit crooked. That's a great way to cover it up. Oh yeah, I was playing with the reindeer or I was playing football with the elves like they do in the movie. You could
Or get a bump or a cut on yourself or something like that. Cut yourself shaving or something like that. Just, oh, I was with the reindeer games. Yep.
Absolutely. Charlie says also, good question, Phineas. And let's see here. Oh, and Angela was talking about, sounds like a fan coming on for a brief minute or so. It kind of drowns out the audio. Not sure. It's been doing it for several weeks. I don't hear it in the replay, but it does. And Sue had mentioned it was a little fuzzy today.
Yep.
Let's see here. Here it is, the one I was looking for. This is from Ken. Go ahead, Phineas.
Ken says the exact number is always fluctuating with births, retirements, and such, but reindeer perform many valuable functions other than pulling my sleigh once a year. Some work at the North Pole office, flying around, collecting your letters and bringing them to me at the North Pole. Others collect valuable resources we use to make the toys for Christmas. Reindeer do many things for me, and without them, I'd never be able to do the wonderful things I do for the children. And Ken is someone who's thinking of pretty much every aspect of his North Pole, and I'm always delighted to hear what he has to say.
I believe this is one for you, Randy.
Steve Spack Energy Stick is a huge hit with kids. I took the label and added a candy cane stripe, as the kids love it. When you test for Christmas spirit, and even the return visits lights up, easy to use. Yeah, it's the where you hold the ends and you got one around here somewhere. Where'd it go? But yeah, it's a great prop. It's a wonderful prop.
There was a Santa at the North Pole Cornerstones. There are those candy canes you can get. I think they have M&Ms in them that have the actual candy cane crook on them. And he took the crook off of it and put it on the end of the Steve Smack energy stick. So it looks even more like a candy cane as well.
I hurt my foot one year and told the kids that I asked that one was a reindeer stepped on it. Ouch, Brian. Yeah, it's a good idea to come up with. They're going to ask, and if you have that quick answer, it's going to be believable.
Santa Mac, Jeff McMillan says, "What a bright spot in my afternoon. Thanks, guys. Wonderful as always." Jeff, you're always so gracious. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And for those who like what Jeff does, check out his new Patreon because he's providing you with wonderful information once a week on Patreon. So, what a great to get information and support someone amazing. So,
and had a chance to go over and check out. Jeff's got a lot going on right now. Got some really cool stuff in the works, and he talks about it over there on his page. Get over and check it out. Jeff says he uses the Wonder Stick with great results as well. Okay, it looks like we got caught up on those. Let's go ahead and reveal our trivia answers today. The Sleigh Bell Brain Teaser. What cartoon character is a Christmas Eve staple in Sweden? That would be C. Donald Duck. That one kind of surprised me. Yeah, that one kind of surprised me. And what year was the above cartoon character created? Donald Duck was created in 1934. Our first winner is Paul Anderson. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Paul Anderson gets it. Paul, I think I still got your T-shirt size.
I think so. I have it wrote down.
Yeah, I think Angela has that wrote down, and we've already checked with Phineas, and we'll do what we.
Fit and or either or.
Yep. Yeah. We'll do what we've done in the past, and then for the Claus Effect bonus round, our winner was.
You know what? I don't have his shirt size wrote down.
Okay, Paul, send me your shirt size, please, sir.
Okay, so the bonus round.
Yes.
I'm gonna do 2 winners today.
Oh, it's Double Shot Monday.
Only, had
Two and two.
for running late and had a new player on
And a new player, so we wanna say thank you for that. So okay, let's give out some names.
Okay, so Paul Anderson.
Paul Anderson. Okay, your name goes in the hat for the drawing.
And Kelly Hunsucker.
Kelly Hunsucker, your name goes in the hat for a drawing. That's Double Shot Monday. That's right. What 2 shots are we having today, guys?
Hot cocoa and extra whipped cream.
There you go. Sounds good to me. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Congratulations for the wins there. And let's go ahead and run our Cherry Hill programs and say thank you to them. If you ever thought about being a mall Santa, that would be a great time. Cherry Hill Programs has put together some really cool stuff. And, if you happen to go over there and talk to any of the ladies, just tell them that Bob sent you from Tuesday Night Live. It would be greatly appreciated. And we also want to mention on Tuesdays now, we have, for the rest of this season, worked out a deal with Cherry Hill Programs. They will be doing a trivia follow-up on their Facebook group page on Wednesdays following the Tuesday show. Watch the Tuesday show, and something in the content will be turned into a trivia answer, and Christy Haynes will put up that over there, and if you win, you get your choice of a Santa Central ball cap and or a Santa Central T-shirt, not the jersey, but the T-shirt. All right, fantastic, man. I tell you what, we got some great shows coming up. As always, we Tuesday Night Live and TNL Network Productions, the Mondays, the North Pole segments, and I mean even Wednesdays and Thursdays has been such a hit this year. Numbers are up. We appreciate everybody tuning in and watching with us. Any North Pole nightcaps? Any thoughts or takeaways, gentlemen?
Watch Sean's White's Claus Connection tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central here on TNL Network page. And she's interviewing someone very special to me. So
with Kevin, that's right, Kevin Show.
Very cool. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Boy, it's on and on. It's fantastic. And don't forget Sunday. They were on last night, so they got next Sunday off. It's every other Sunday on the Claus. A couple.
We've got a great little video photo montage for tonight. Or Kevin and Phineas, you're in that montage. How about that?
Woo!
Yippee! Woo! Yay! All right, we want to say thank you again to everyone. Hey, get out and make it a great week. Enjoy the weather when it's good. Be careful when it's bad. We wouldn't want you to have to be telling the children that the reindeer kicked you. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We want to see you again tonight for Sean's show and for the other shows and back here next Monday. And don't forget, tomorrow night's Tuesday night. Great show there. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Ken DeBellis will be our guest tomorrow night. Ken DeBellis.
Stay magical. See you soon.
Night.
Night.
Or well.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, whatever it is. See you later.
Calabash.
The phrase is hasta la vista, baby.
Like Randy says, ba-doop, 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 ba-doop.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Ah.